Hello, fibromyalgia friends. We are so delighted to have two of our advocacy friends here with us, Ann and Lily, joining us at the Fibromyalgia Community Conference. Welcome, Ann and Lily, to the conference. Say hello to our fibromyalgia friends.
Hello. So I'm Anne,
Hello.
and this is Lily. And Lily has been struggling with fibromyalgia since she was, since she was 8. And I've had it for over 23 years.
Well, and both of you have been working in advocacy. So we're going to dive into some of this advocacy conversation and learn a little bit more too about the health journey. And there's going to be interviews ahead with Anne and Lily in 2024. We've already discussed it, but we wanted to give an introduction on some of the amazing work that they've been a part of with the Support Fibromyalgia Network. They've joined us virtually for our Hill Days. They've joined other Hill Days as well and have an immense experience working together as a team, as a partnership, as caregiving team, and helping other families with chronic illness conditions feel better and find the resources that they need. So this is an immense amount of knowledge that we're going to share today. We're going to start and then look forward to additional interviews in 2024 with this dynamic duo, and hopefully, crossing our fingers, we can get them in person in Washington, D.C., which I'll try not to nerd out too much about in this interview. But for both of you here, why don't you get started a little bit with sharing your health journey? And you can start anywhere in time, but maybe give us a quick sort of top level overview of the health journey, and then we'll go into what brought you into advocacy.
Okay. For myself, as I said, it's been since 2000. After a car accident is when I started developing symptoms, and then I struggled working, as a lot of us have, and I ended up losing my job. And then people don't believe you, and we all know how all that goes. And then my daughter had mono when she was 8, and that's when our big journey started with fibromyalgia. They didn't actually diagnose her until she was 12, but me having it, looking at her going, yeah, there's no question in my mind that she had it. So, and they didn't want to diagnose her or give it a name until she was older. Yeah, but we got it at 12. So, yeah. No, that was the other doctor, Minnesota doctor. Yeah, because I had to take her. Yeah, I had to take her to I took her to 4 different states trying to find help. And it's been the worst journey ever. And especially when you're 8, having to go through all of the stuff that she's had to do. So, right? It's been no fun.
But I want to acknowledge there's been a lot of courage here in the journey. And so when you were looking for answers, you went through 4 states to get a diagnosis, or was it at the diagnosis and then getting treatments from different specialists in different states?
Well, Mayo Clinic diagnosed her with chronic fatigue, and it was amplified musculoskeletal pain syndrome. And that was in 2020. And then after that, it was like, okay, you're diagnosed. We don't have any more help for you. Bye. And the peds doctor in our city didn't know what to do. And so then I took her to I took her to Minneapolis. I took her to Omaha, had to go up to North Dakota. We live in South Dakota. So, and finally I had found a doctor in Minnesota that actually, so we've traveled several times to go visit this doctor in Minnesota. And she was the first one that was actually able to help her. And now we found a functional medicine doctor that has also helped us here in town. But now 13 must be the magic number, because now she's 13. I found a GP in town that is actually helping with her Lyrica and stuff, because that's been a big issue too, of like, oh, we don't want to give her Lyrica. But the Minnesota doctor she knows all this stuff, and that was the one, without her we wouldn't be where we are. So it's been a big long struggle.
I'm grateful that you've found a provider that could start this path, and then you're finding now slowly more providers. And to give our viewers context, so when she says she found a provider in Minnesota, Ann and Lily do not live in Minnesota. They actually live in South Dakota. So we're talking about miles here of driving and working with provider out of state. And so this is a big, huge goal of ours for fibromyalgia to try to change. But that's why we're here interviewing Ann and Lily to get an idea of what's going on, and they have a real in-depth perspective on all of this as well. So now we're seeing how and your why of this advocacy and this movement forward from both of you. And we're understanding a little bit more in how it feels to you. Do you want to dive into kind of the importance of being an advocate with what's happened in your history a little bit?
Well, I'm going to say that it actually started, I've been advocating for her for years. And then I was kind of like looking at myself and going, there's more, you should be doing this more for yourself as well. So we've been doing advocacy for the last 2 years with the Fibromyalgia Network. And we've also started in our city. So we have a proclamation from the mayor of our city. And we have one from the governor for the first time. And we're going to keep continuing on with this. But as far as Lily, because I know, how does it make you feel when you get to talk to the senators or the representatives on Zoom? How did that make you feel?
I don't know.
Don't know. But it was kind of exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to share that picture with everybody too, because it's very empowering. And as advocates here, as you mentioned, Anne, you've been advocating in the clinic's office, so with the healthcare providers, as an advocate for your daughter and for yourself living with a chronic illness condition. And then the whole government, like congressional representatives, has added a whole nother level of advocacy and conversation, which is tremendous. And all of us appreciate you taking the time and energy, and Lily, especially like having your perspective too. And my heart goes out to everybody that has chronic illness conditions that start as a youth. It can, like, you're trying to maneuver and figure out life. And then I know as a caregiving team, how do you feel it's important that you support each other? Are there things that you do that you that best support, or what things you have to like communicate with each other?
Well, I know Lily tells me things sometimes of, like slow down, or why are you doing that, or you should rest, and right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she's advocating for you too.
Yeah, she is. And she's, more like, well, why are you doing this? You shouldn't have to do this. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's hard being a single mom. Yeah. Other people. Yeah, there's other people that can help with other things, but sometimes we just need to do what we're doing, kind of thing.
Okay. Lily, how does it feel to be able to communicate what's going on with doctors or the congressional leaders? Is there any other advice you would have for people your age?
The doctors, it feels like I really have to. It feels like I'm talking to a little kid when I'm talking with the doctors, because they act like they know everything just because they've been to medical school, but they don't. And it's really annoying. Then with the congressional leaders, they're more understanding, I think, but just because they're most of them I'm talked to at least. So it's more like talking to someone who's trying their best to understand.
Well, I like that you've had some positive feedback. And I know with the medical doctors, see, everybody out there, Lily shares a lot of science with us. And I've been in the congressional meetings with her, and she's thrown down some really good science and information for the congressional leaders. So with Lily, have you been studying more about science behind some of the CFS, ME, and fibromyalgia conditions?
Some, just more like biology and health in general.
Well, we embrace your science knowledge and all your expertise. So you're taking this knowledge and you've been bringing it to the congressional leaders. And are you excited for 2024 to take on more meetings?
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you on board. What can we do to help prepare, or what can we do to help more youth get involved with advocacy?
I think it would help by setting up more spaces for them, like safe spaces or just places where they can communicate, specifically like online or in different cities, just so that they actually have a place where they can talk and advocate. I think that would be a good start.
It's kind of hard sometimes because we don't know any other kids that have fibromyalgia, and especially at this age. And that's a difficult thing. And we did pull her out of school, and now she's doing homeschool, and it's difficult. But I'm really proud of her because she has been speaking up. And isn't it interesting that sometimes the congressional staff, they listen more than our doctors do? I mean, really?
Yeah, because I think, like I said earlier, I think it's because doctors have been to med school and they think that they know all about it when they don't, and they either weren't taught about what we have, or they were taught stuff that either isn't true or not much.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that we've gotten such a good response. And we're changing it though with the medical doctors. And it sounds like too that you've come across doctors that are more knowledgeable and willing to listen to support your condition too. But it's taking time and it's taking progress and a lot of work. I will tell you both, we had a good response at the American College of Rheumatology. Surprisingly, I wasn't sure if rheumatologists would be running away from our booth, but they actually came forward and were having good conversations. So they do want to create solutions. I do agree that youth resources aren't as readily available as they need to, especially in the fibromyalgia community. I do want to connect, if there's any way to connect you more with a group called Take Pain Check. They've been really inspiring. They were at ACR for youth with arthritic conditions and things, but we want to expand. And this is why the work that we all do together and highlighting all what you're doing together on the main stage as a family. And now with homeschooling, as far as the support goes, like how do you manage your day to day together? Is it full, like, do you have full days? Do you take breaks? What do you have to do in order to manage a lot of the schoolwork and health?
It's a a self-guided, it's an online virtual, so she does as much in a day as she can, and there's days where she can't, because even after a holiday she needs, maybe a week to rest or a few days to rest, and so she just tries to do, what she can. And I'm just, I mean, she's still an A student. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, not everybody, I don't think, would be able to do everything that she's doing because she is smart. She wants to learn. She is interested in different things. So because she does a lot of reading, and she reads about fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and all these other things that are related to them, all the comorbidities and whatnot. So
Well, it's creating this learning environment at home that can be helpful too, which I think many people out there know. I lean into being at home and I love virtual, probably a little bit too much. But for some of these aspects of learning, I didn't realize that these things were available and that I could do that. So I think it's tremendous, Anne, that you've taken this to do it. And I know it's not perfect system, right? Because you're balancing your own work and then supporting her at homeschool.
yes.
Are there any tips you have for caregivers that are managing both?
Like if you have fibromyalgia, I recommend, you've got to take care of yourself first, because it's like you're in an airplane, put on your oxygen mask first, because you've got to take care of yourself so you can take care of your family. And being a single mom is very difficult when when you both have chronic illnesses, but we're making it work. Lily does as much as she can. And sometimes, she's not able to do a lot. And when she's not, then, that's when I do things. I have a lot of shortcuts and different things that I try and do. And there too, sometimes she needs help. She needs help getting ready for bed or that kind of thing. It's just whatever we need to do at the time is what we do. And you just got to give yourself a lot of grace, because I think that's a huge thing that, you got to step back sometimes and just look at all of the amazing things that you're doing, because being a fibro mom is not an easy thing, like I said, and it's just, let alone just having fibro, whoever you are. But I mean, especially when you're a mom and you're trying to, take care of your family, but you've got to give yourself some grace and just remember that you're doing the best you can. And that's what it comes down to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the best we can, and we have to alleviate some of the stigmas of trying to keep up with hustle or whatever those words are, with people out there, and just manage together and have fun. Also, is there something that you enjoy doing together that brings you joy as a family?
What do you say? Oh, sometimes we'll do some arts and crafts. I think when we can, we like to go to the movies. What else? Sometimes we'll just sit and watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
And if she feels like it, we'll get out and go somewhere. So I think that's probably the funnest, right? When we can get out and go somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed the theme of creativity, and I know, Anne, you have a very creative background, and there's different artwork that gets featured in the background too of your household as well, and you enjoy it and design. So it sounds like those things also keep you going as well.
Yeah, and it's important, even being a fibro person, you're a caregiver, that you've got to do things that can help you get yourself out of the fight or flight. And I find the creative aspect of things is the best way to do that.
And we want to be working with both of you because you've mentioned some gaps that we need to address with fibromyalgia, and it's important we address those gaps. Besides the caregiving, family support, youth support services, and what that looks like, and design it, and figure out what would best be and evolve. So I feel like we can do this together, and there's a lot of ambitious goals in 2024 coming up, but it's something that families need, and I know people watching this right now, it's going to resonate with a lot of other people. So we appreciate you both definitely taking the time and energy to do this. I know it's not easy and it's weird at times, but for 2024, what is ahead? Advocacy work, business, like what's ahead for both of you?
We're gonna go to Washington, D.C. In March to meet with some of our state senators, I believe, and talk with them about fibro. Might be some other government, like Congress, I think. So, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about that. I know you guys haven't done it for a few years because of the whole COVID bit. So, but I think even having Lily there will hopefully be, an important thing because they can see,
there's a kid.
Here's this teenager and look what she's doing. And
I think they'll care more about the fact that kids are dealing with this than the fact that adults are dealing with this.
And it matters tremendously for them to see that there's youth involved with fibromyalgia, not only at a congressional level, but this reminds me even too in the medical system, because for some reason there's still a stigma that it's only for women of a certain age, but all genders, all ages. And again, going back to these resources that can be given to anybody that's diagnosed from teenager to 20s, it's important because you have to figure out how to maneuver through this chronic illness condition. And again, I always tell people this resonates close to my heart because when I was diagnosed or given this at 14, I was told that this was so rare that they didn't even think I had a diagnosis that was correct. And there was no resources out there for people my age. So we need to evolve and really get this for you quickly moving forward. I'm excited. You're holding us accountable. Both of you are holding us accountable to get you to Washington, D.C. So we're going to make it happen. Everybody, all the viewers out there, we're going to see some pictures of both of you in DC in March in front of the Capitol building, and we're going to work all together and get this done. We need changes for fibromyalgia.
Most definitely.
And Anne, for you too, you're launched a coaching business besides joining us in advocacy. So that's something on the plate for 2024.
Correct. Yes, I'm working on my fibro family coaching business. I do want to give a shout out to Brandy because without Brandy, I wouldn't be here because that was part of everything too. I reached out to her on her Facebook page and I was like, hey, anybody have a kid with similar things? And she got me in touch with somebody else. And that got me in touch, I'm a certified fibromyalgia coach. So I've learned all these things, and because of Brandy's, how I got into all this. So I thank her immensely, because that's also helping Lily. Everything that we've been learning. So
Well, it's all about community here. And I know
yeah.
Jira introduced us. And so
Yes.
it's just a community that works together. And I'm a
Yes.
big promoter of health coaching because we're
Yeah.
surrounded by some great and tremendous health coaching to actually provide that guidance, because many of us in the health coaching space are the patients first. And we've gotten
Correct.
training and certification to be able to
Yes.
support the community effectively. We're going to have a lot more health coaching conversations in 2024 too, for everybody out there. But I'm so happy that we had this chance to actually sit down with Anna and Lily today to give you a glimpse of what's going on, with more to come. So thank you both for being here at the Fibromyalgia Conference. Where can people connect with you online?
For me, they can contact us at fibrofamilycoach.com.
And they can reach out to you. Is that also on social media as well?
Yeah, I'm working on getting all that set up. So, but right now it's, and I do have a Facebook page as well. So it's Fibro Family Coach. So, and I did that just because, it's the whole thing of, this is our family. It's our family. And I have cousins that have fibromyalgia.
Okay.
So it's all about family. I mean, because there is a lot of hereditary aspects, or it runs in families. So
Yeah, I think that's very clear
yeah, I know.
for me.
You kind of get the jackpot of wonderfulness.
Is that what you've noticed, Lily, with other family members? Have you had those conversations so they actually admitted to you that they had fibromyalgia?
No, I've just noticed that quite a few people in my family have fibro or something similar.
It's fascinating because there's glimpses of that in research, but not enough. So this is what you're helping advocate for, so that we can get some more research for a better understanding of what is going on, because it is very limited in the research. Yeah. We also need to get more researchers excited about fibromyalgia. I do love what the ME/CFS community has been able to achieve. And
yeah.
I think you participated in one of their advocacy events, correct?
Yeah, we did. Yep, okay. We did. And then we did not last year. It was just, I had to have knee surgery and stuff. So we kind of chose the fibromyalgia, since that's, the main thing that we have going on. And we're working on everything else as well. So it's just, day to day kind of thing. Never know how we're going to feel or what's going on.
Well, it's progress for all of us, not perfection. So we just...
That's it for sure.
But again, we emphasize that we're all in this together. So no matter where you live in the world right now, since we're global, we want people to know that there are resources out there. There are people that you can join and connect with, all on the internet, and to really lean into this community.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Anna and Lily, for joining us today. Thank you, everyone at the Fibromyalgia community, for watching and tuning in. Stay tuned for more content coming up soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.